AITA for giving my stepson a 20-minute time limit to return my car before I phone the police. This happened last night, and I am extremely annoyed. Edits at the bottom. I am a 34F doctor, and part of my job entails being on call for 1 to 3 nights a week, twice a month. My fiancée Dale 30M has been saving with my stepson's mom to buy him a car for Christmas. My stepson Rex 16M has a license already but always has to borrow his mom's station wagon or his dad's beat-up pickup truck. His mom's car is lame and embarrassing, and his dad's can only hold 1 passenger. Not practical for a teen. On to the main conflict. Rex texted me yesterday around 12 if he could borrow my car after school. His friends wanted to go to the mall, but the bus route is too long. Could they borrow my car? I texted back sorry, but no. I am on call again. Can you ask your mom? He says no. I told him sorry, but my answer is still no. I'm sure you will find a solution. Ask your friends and you can all figure it out. If you see where this is going, you are less shocked than I am. I was up in my home office, the room where I keep my switch, sewing machine, and laptop, so not an official office, when I heard Rex and his friends downstairs after school. I was going to see if they needed anything, but they left after a few minutes. An hour later, I went to the kitchen, cleaning up the empty bottles and wrappers from their snacks. I saw the spot where I left my keys empty. I began to panic. First, I bolted to the door. My car was gone. Immediately dialed my stepson. He picks up, and it's obvious he's in a mall store that plays loud music. I told him to get his ass home now, and he laughed and said that I am not his mom. He'll be home whenever he pleases. I'm not proud, but I told him that he has 20 minutes to get home, or I call the police and report it stolen. Rex panics and said he couldn't find all his friends and drive home in 20 minutes. Told him tough shit. 10 minutes later I get a text that he is in the mall parking lot and will be home soon. I phoned Rex's mom and informed her of his stunt. She was madder than me when I told her that I was on call. She apologized and promised to talk with Rex and Dale ASAP. Rex came in, threw me my keys, locked himself in his room. Dale finally came home around 8 and said he had been on the phone with his ex. He demanded to know why I punished his son. I put my foot down and explained, I am on call. That means I need my car. Rex stole my car. Dale disagrees. His ex agrees with me and decided she will not be buying Rex a car anytime soon due to his entitlement. Dale thinks that I am making a big deal out of nothing. I didn't end up going into work, so why did I have to threaten Rex? I have only gone in twice this year while on call. Just because nothing happens doesn't mean that I am always clear. Rex is now grounded. Fiancé barely speaks to me. Asks me when I'm going in today. I'm not. And if I will apologize. I am not budging and am still pissed he doesn't get it. We found out this weekend that my spouse of 10 years is gay. He asked for a divorce Thursday, citing that he cares about me, but that I'm not the right person for him. Through many tears, big feelings, a touch of snooping on my part, and a lot of honest conversation, we made this discovery together. Or at least he came to acceptance of this with me. Last night he went out to the bar with some friends. His friends came out to them, and they were so happy for him. Honestly, losing him to being gay feels less hard than losing him to not being enough as a wife for him. But his friends' happiness for him threw me into a spiral because all I could think was, what about me? I'm a person who feels things very strongly and so deeply. I can't just turn off my love for him. And through all this, I also feel betrayed. Not because he didn't know himself, but because a year ago he downloaded the Grindr app and started interacting with other men. He saw it as interactive porn, but he sent dick pics out. And now I found out he's been texting with a man he met through there. When I asked if I could see the content of their conversations, he told me that he couldn't because the other person is private. I couldn't help but say, fuck that guy, I'm your wife. If he's been sending out dick pics, I also want to know if he's been emotionally unfaithful. We've talked about how we both love each other and want to stay close to each other because we have 2 kids. But I'm grieving the fuck out of the life we were supposed to have together. Our kids are adopted, and I wanted to try for a biological child. I'm 36. Finding someone else, falling in love, and having a baby before I'm physically unable to feels impossible. And I first need to get over him anyway. I don't know why I'm here. I'm not sure if it's for advice or commiseration or to throw a pity party. I just feel like my life is coming down around me. TLDR, husband asked for divorce. Realized he's gay. Either way, I'm losing the life I thought we'd have and I'm broken. AITA for yelling at my dad's girlfriend for accidentally throwing away my contacts. My dad, 53M, has a girlfriend. They're pretty serious. They've been dating a couple of months. My mom, 46F, passed away a couple of months ago. My dad, since then, now has a new girlfriend. Tammy, 48F. For a while, I felt like an asshole because she hadn't done anything for me to not like her. My dad and his friends kept getting on me to be nicer, how my mom would want me to like her and to move on, whatever. I didn't even get a bad vibe from her. I just didn't like her. But, hoo boy, did that change. Drastically. I'm 18, I live at home. I'm currently enrolled in college as a full-time student. Anyway, my dad felt compelled to mention to Tammy that my room could be organized by her. Weird, but I didn't want to say no, at least not in front of my dad. She then decided to start the process by starting to attempt to rip the posters and pictures off of my wall. She stopped after I told her to. Then, then, came the contacts. I woke up this morning and unbeknownst to me, she came over earlier to help my dad clean our house. I internally groaned when I woke up and heard her voice. But that's besides the point. Anyway, I woke up and went to the bathroom to put in my contacts, which are daily pairs, hair kept in a little storage box on the back of our toilet. So, I went to grab a pair, and nothing was there. Not even the box where they came from, which I need to remember my solution when time comes for ordering more. I start looking around, in the cabinets, under the sink, even in the trash can in the bathroom. Everything was empty. A horrifying thought came over me. I went into the living room and asked them if they had moved my contacts. My dad said no, genuinely. Tammy, on the other hand, she looked at me with zero guilt and said, "Oh, so that's what those were?" Panic sets in. I find out she accidentally threw them out last night. I freak out because I have the worst vision in the world and can't see clearly 3 feet in front of me without them. So I blow up, to which she responds by saying it was my fault for leaving them out, how if I didn't want to lose them, I should have put them up. I paid for those contacts with the money I got from my mom's life insurance. It wasn't a lot. If any of you know shit about contacts, you'll know they're expensive. I couldn't afford to go out and buy a new supply. My dad isn't talking to me now because he thinks I'm overreacting. He agrees with Tammy and says if I didn't want them lost, they should have been kept safe. He's also refusing to buy me a new supply on her insistence. I asked if he planned to buy me more to compensate for the loss, to which he didn't say anything at first, but to which Tammy said I needed to learn my lesson. And some people have to learn the hard way that not everything in life is free, whatever the hell that means. Tifu by playing an extreme fart compilation for a group of kindergartners. I live in a medium-sized town. My girlfriend lives about 15 minutes away from me, and she and her sister run a daycare center out of their house. It's certified and inspected and legitimate, even fairly well respected among the folks who live around here. Sometimes I help out over there when I have free time. I mostly cook or make sandwiches or help assemble things like plastic playground equipment. It's a good way to spend time with my girl while she's at work. Well, the other night, I was linked to a Tifu post by another Redditor, who allegedly recorded his farts for an entire year or something. Then the recording got out to his coworkers. I thought the actual recording was hilarious, so I have been sending it to friends for a few days. The kids sometimes fart and laugh about it, so I was like, I bet these kids would love that recording. I waited until my girlfriend went to use the bathroom, then I seized my chance. I was like, "You kids like music?" And then I blasted the audio clip through my laptop. I did not anticipate the consequences of this decision. I don't even know how to describe the kids' reactions. At first, they all just giggled and laughed. But the recording has a finale at the end, where hundreds of farts play all at once. There are about 14 of these kids, and any semblance of peace and orderliness within the house immediately dissolved into hysteria, right when that crescendo hit. It was fucking chaos. They started shrieking and howling with laughter, falling to the floor. One of them choked on a celery stick and then threw up. One of the girls started running in circles around the furniture, screaming, "I am the fart queen," and hitting the other kids as she passed by. Around the time my girlfriend got back into the room, 3 minutes later, the kids had figured out that they could make fart noises with their hands and mouths and arms. So my girlfriend walks into the room with a bunch of children marching around me in a circle, ritually chanting and making fart sounds. I explained that I had made a fart sound with my hands to make the kids laugh. and then they all started mimicking me. I didn't admit to playing the recording. Needless to say, I got the fuck out of there. But my girlfriend later recounted how two boys held a little girl down, while one of the boys farted on her head. And one kid stood up on the couch, stuck his ass out, and screamed that he had to fart, then shat himself. I will never admit to her what I did, and hopefully the kids never say anything. I broke up with my girlfriend over earpods today. It was awesome. My girlfriend, F22, and I, M25, had been dating for almost a year now. She's in university, living in the university residence. I work full-time and have my own place. Her residence has some very strict rules such as no male guests, aside from parents, and a strict curfew. This will be important later. We're not in the US BTW. Before the Easter holidays, a few friends and I planned a road trip. I invited her, but she declined. The day before my road trip, I decided to get some new earbuds for the trip. My girlfriend came with me to the shop. Once there, my girlfriend decided that she would like a pair of AirPods. I relented and bought her a pair and got myself some Bose earbuds, since I preferred those, and I do not have an iPhone. On our way back to the university, she mentioned that she liked my earbuds since they looked better than her AirPods. She took them, paired them to her phone, and started playing around with them. I didn't think much of it until she said she wanted them and wanted to trade her AirPods with my earbuds. I told her no, because I didn't have an iPhone, so AirPods would be useless to me. Found out later that they work pretty well on Android, and that we can exchange hers when I get back since going back now would make her late for curfew. She kept insisting, saying that it would make her happy. I told her I needed them for my trip in the morning, which seemed to be the end of it. We got to her residence, and as I was parking, she threw her AirPods at me and said, "Thanks for the trade." Then jumped out of the moving car, still wearing my earbuds. I was shocked, and it took me a second to realize that she had just ran away with my earbuds. I parked and then ran after her, but I wasn't fast enough. She had already entered the building. I stood at the entrance with two very burly guards giving me the stink eye while I shouted for her to come back. She just blew me a kiss and went upstairs. I shouted a bit more until the guards very politely asked me to leave. I was livid. She had just robbed me, and there was nothing I could do. I stalked back to my car, fuming and cursing. However, I started laughing when I got to my car because there on the ground, near the passenger side door, was a lovely white box. It seems in her mad dash to run away, she had accidentally dropped the charging case. I picked it up, my day suddenly brighter, and drove back to the shop. I exchanged the AirPods and got new earbuds, then blocked her, and the next morning went for my road trip. I unblocked her when I got back yesterday, ready to deal with the shitstorm, and called her. At first she was sweet and asked about my trip. Then she asked if she had left the charging case for her earbuds in my car. I told her that I had returned the AirPods and exchanged them for new earbuds, and that since my new earbuds didn't work with my old charging case, I had thrown it away because I didn't need it. That triggered her, and she started shouting at me, calling me an asshole and demanding that I get her a new pair of earbuds or we're done. I said, "Okay, I guess we're done," then hung up. I've been laughing ever since. If you were sentenced to, let's say, 10+ years in jail, what would you do with your time? I would go into the most crowded room, the dinner hall maybe. Then I would squat out a shit right in the middle, while maintaining eye contact with anyone I could. Marking my territory, you know? And who's going to tackle a dude squatting out a deuce? Anyway, I would likely get disciplined for that, but I would continue to do it at any opportunity. I would do it in a shared cell if I had one as well. Then, when I feel I'd made it clear that this was my town, I'd get myself a shiv. Nothing fancy, just a reliable shanking tool. I'd go around eating other people's food and shanking anyone who tried to stop me. Starting to make a name for myself now. People are going to know who runs shit around here. Pretty soon even the guards would be wary of me, probably leave me to do my own thing. No one is going to want to get stabbed over a couple of French fries. Once I'd made a name for myself as the Don of the jail, I'd unite all factions: Asians, whites, blacks, Nazis, Crips and Bloods, triads. They'd all join to make one super gang, with me at the head. Then eventually, we'd make the break. No way can a prison stop a full-scale breakout if it's properly planned and executed, with each individual working as part of a unit. Then we'd go to the nearest town and pop out shits at every public area, while keeping eye contact, of course. Then private areas, like houses and such. Make the population know that we run this town. After repeating the prison process and making an entire town a part of my gang, we'd go on to the nearest city, dropping deuces everywhere. You know the drill. Then, he whirled. Probably the time I threw up in my sister's eye. I had just chugged a Pepsi and my sister was lying down on her bed. With a glint of evil in my eyes, I leaned over, getting ready to let out the largest belch that was stirring in me. She looks up at me and I get ready to release this horrid belch on her face. Instead of a belch, I threw up bile and Pepsi in her eye. She ran to the bathroom screaming, "You threw up in my eye! Oh my God, it burns!" I was laughing so hard I ended up throwing up on myself. That was 10 years ago, and we both can't tell this story without laughing about it.